Okay, so now I want you to turn to, I believe it's your page 13 in the Recorder Karate packet, or actually, you don't even have to turn to it if you don't have it. I just want to show you some other resources at the back of the packet. This page is just for your reference. As we learn new songs, you'll learn that a half note is this open circle with a stem and it's worth 2 beats. You'll learn that in your first song, Hot Cross Buns. You'll learn what a quarter note looks like, closed circle with a stem, and then it's worth 1 beat. So don't worry about that. Just know it's back here in case, you're trying to figure out what something is called. You know it's back here. A rest is a silence in music. So a quarter rest is a resting for 1 beat, and half rest is resting for 2 beats. For instance, if the beat is do, 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 and the little beat is do day, do day, do day, do day, and I want to throw a rest in there, then I might say do, do day, do, and where I was quiet, that's a rest. Okay? We've done that in other music classes. And if I'm talking about measures, if you look here, down at the bottom of this page, I believe for you it says 13 here, so don't worry about the number being different if you're following along with your packet. There's something called a bar line, and it just separates the notes of music. So if I say go to measure 1, everything, all the notes in this area here, that's measure 1. And then we have a bar line, and all the notes here is measure 2. Flip to your next page. How we name the notes. Do you remember how we name the notes on lines? It says it right here. It may help you to remember the notes on the lines by remembering the sentence, every good boy does fine. In fact, we said, every good boy does fine on a line. So, if a note is on the first line of the music staff, it's an E for every. Second line is a G for good. Boy, B on the third line. Does, D on the fourth line, and fine, F on the fifth line. And remember what we would say, well, this says, the notes in the spaces spell out the word face. Remember we used to say F, A, C, E, face on a space. So you have this in the back of your packet in case you forget these little mnemonics and ways of remembering. And then finally, as we're learning notes, oh, this is pretty cool. I wonder if I can write on this. Let's see if I can. Yes. Right here. Do you remember I used to do this really funny thing? I would say, oh no, this note is just dangling. And so this note, which isn't on a line of the staff and it isn't on a space, it's just dangling. That is a D, right? Now this note, sorry about my cursor saying A flat, just ignore what it says on it. I'm circling this note. Do you see this note? Is it on a line or is it on a space? Remember what we used to do with our faces? If the note has the line going through it, it's on a line. If a note has a line above and below it, it's on a space. So this is a note on a line. And our mnemonic for notes on the line is every good boy does fine on a line. So what is this note? It is a E. And so you can feel free when you get your packet to go in and do this. Now this note, is it on a line or a space? It looks like there's a line below it and above it, so it's on a space. And how do we remember notes on spaces? F, A, C, happy face on a space. It's on the first space, so it's an F. Now we have a note here. This note, is it on a line or a space? Well, it looks like the line is going through the middle of the note. So it must be on a line. And for lines, we remember every good boy does fine on a line. Every good. It must be a G. At this point, you notice there's a pattern. We started on D, we moved up to E, we moved up to F, we moved up to G. It's going in alphabetical order. Except something happens here. Don't tell me this note is an H. It's not. We don't have the note H. Let's look at this note. Is it on a line or a space? Line below, line above. It must be on a space because look, there's no line going through it. How to remember notes on spaces? F, A, it's an A. With music, we start over. We go in alphabetical order from A through G, and then we start back over with A. So if this is an A, this is one step higher. It must be. Well, what's one note after A in the alphabet? You think it's a B. Well, let's check. Every good boy. It's on a line. It is, in fact, a B. And it keeps going like this. I am going to now go on to the last page. If you, and you can keep doing this in your own packet, okay? On this page, the very last page of your packet, if you ever have a note and you can't figure out what it is on recorder, you can look it up here. If you have a note, let's say on the second space, and you're looking, oh, here it is. That's an A. Oh, and that's how I play it. And I'll show you more about how to play the recorder next music class. Don't worry about what this means yet. I just want you to know this is a place to look it up. Oh, I have a note on the third line. It must be a B. Oh, and that's how you play it. A note on the third space. Oh, that must be a C, and this is how you play it. So that is some of the introduction, and yeah, more to come next music.